The next morning was quiet, too quiet. Jungkook had barely slept after Taehyung's words. His chest still ached with the weight of them. But when he stepped out of his room, he froze. Taehyung was in the kitchen. His shirt sleeves rolled up, hair messy, humming softly as he flipped pancakes. Their son sat at the table, tiny hands clapping happily as Taehyung placed a plate in front of him. "Appa made breakfast," the boy cheered, syrup smeared across his grin. Jungkook's heart skipped. He had never seen this before, Taehyung fitting so easily into a role he thought he'd never claim. For a moment, Jungkook just stood there, watching the two most important people in his life laugh together like a picture he'd once dreamed of but never thought possible. Taehyung noticed him then, turning with that boxy smile Jungkook both loved and hated. "Good morning. Sit. Eat. I made yours just the way you like it." Jungkook blinked. "You still remember?" Taehyung's gaze softened. "I never forgot." The simple words disarmed Jungkook more than he wanted to admit. Later that afternoon, they went grocery shopping together. Jungkook insisted it was just for convenience, but people stared as they walked side by side, Taehyung carrying the child, Jungkook pushing the cart. They looked like a family. And it terrified Jungkook how natural it felt. At one point, their son tugged at Taehyung's collar, pointing to a box of cookies. Taehyung lifted him higher, letting him grab it himself. "Strong boy," he praised, kissing the boy's cheek. Jungkook's chest tightened. Taehyung's voice, his touch, the way he looked at their son, it was everything Jungkook had once wished for. But when Taehyung's eyes flickered to him, lingering a second too long, Jungkook quickly looked away, pretending to read labels on the shelf. That night, after their son had fallen asleep, Jungkook found Taehyung on the balcony, leaning against the railing, lost in thought. The city lights reflected in his eyes, but there was something heavier in them. "Why are you doing all this?" Jungkook asked quietly, stepping closer. Taehyung turned, his expression open, raw. "Because I can't lose you both again. I've spent years regretting the choices I made. I thought I was protecting you by leaving, but all I did was break you. Break us. I won't make that mistake again." Jungkook's breath caught. His heart raced in his chest, torn between anger and longing. Taehyung stepped closer, closing the space between them. His hand lifted slowly, hesitating just inches from Jungkook's cheek. "Tell me to stop, and I will. But if you feel even a fraction of what I do right now, don't." Jungkook's lips trembled. Every wall he had built threatened to crumble under Taehyung's gaze, under the warmth of his presence. His body screamed to lean in, to let go just once, even if it hurt later. And when Taehyung finally brushed his knuckles against his cheek, Jungkook didn't move away. The silence between them crackled, thick with years of unsaid words, buried love, and a longing too strong to deny. The night air was cool, brushing against Jungkook's skin as he stood frozen on the balcony. Taehyung's hand lingered gently against his cheek, warm and steady. "Taehyung," Jungkook whispered, his voice trembling. Taehyung's gaze never wavered. His eyes burned with something Jungkook hadn't seen in years, longing, regret, love, all tangled into one. "I've missed you, Kook. Every day. Every night. No matter where I was, it was always you." Jungkook's throat tightened. His heart screamed to believe him, but the ache of abandonment still lived inside him. "You don't get to say that. You left me when I needed you most." Tae-hyung flinched but didn't back away. "I know. And I'll spend the rest of my life proving to you that I'll never leave again. Just give me the chance." The silence stretched. Jungkook's chest rose and fell rapidly as he searched Tae-hyung's eyes. For once, he didn't see distance. He didn't see someone about to walk away. He saw a man who was ready to fight for him, for them. And against his better judgment, Jungkook's defenses cracked. His lips parted, shaky and uncertain. "I hate that eyes still," he stopped, unable to say the word. Tae-hyung's thumb brushed away a straight hair from his cheek. "Still what?" he asked softly, leaning closer, his breath warm against Jungkook's skin. Jungkook's heart pounded so hard it hurt. "Still want you," that was all it took. Tae-hyung closed the distance, his lips pressing against Jungkook's in a kiss that was both desperate and gentle, like he was afraid Jungkook might shatter if he pushed too hard. Jungkook stiffened at first, but the moment Tae-hyung's hand cupped the back of his neck, the years of longing poured out. He kissed back. It wasn't the fiery passion they once shared, it was softer, tentative, trembling with all the things left unsaid. Tears mixed with the kiss, and Jungkook hated how much he melted into it, how much his body still remembered Tae-hyung's touch. When they finally broke apart, both were breathing heavily, foreheads pressed together. Jungkook's voice was barely a whisper. "If you hurt me again, Tae-hyung, I won't survive it." Tae-hyung's grip tightened, his voice raw. "Then I'll spend the rest of my life making sure I never do." Inside the apartment, their son stirred in his sleep, unaware that on the balcony, his parents had just crossed a line they could never go back from. The kiss lingered in Jungkook's mind long after they had pulled away. His lips still tingled, his heart still raced, but fear settled heavily in his chest. He had promised himself he wouldn't let Tae-hyung back in. And yet, one kiss, one touch, and his walls had cracked. The next morning, Jungkook woke to the smell of breakfast. Blinking sleepily, he padded out of his room and stopped short. Tae-hyung was in the kitchen again, wearing one of Jungkook's old aprons, their son sitting on the counter beside him, giggling as Tae-hyung showed him how to crack an egg. "Careful, buddy, gentle hands," Tae-hyung coached, catching the shell before it fell. The boy laughed, clapping his hands proudly. Jungkook leaned against the doorway, his heart squeezing at the scene. It was everything he had once wanted, a family, a partner, mornings filled with laughter instead of silence. But the ache of fear remained. What if Tae-hyung left again? What if this was temporary? "Good morning," Tae-hyung greeted when he noticed him, his smile soft and hopeful. "We made breakfast together." Jungkook forced a small smile, sitting at the table. "You're spoiling him," Tae-hyung shrugged, placing a plate in front of him. "I'll spoil both of you if you let me." The words made Jungkook's chest flutter and ache at the same time. He didn't answer. Later that day, Jungkook took his son to the park. He tried to convince himself it was just a normal day, but Tae-hyung was there too, pushing the swing, catching the boy as he slid down the slide, his laughter echoing across the playground. Jungkook sat on the bench, arms crossed, watching. Other parents whispered as they passed, smiling at the sight. "They're such a cute family," one woman said. The words pierced Jungkook's heart. When Tae-hyung came over with their son clinging to his shoulders, Jungkook looked away quickly, pretending to check his phone. But Tae-hyung crouched down, his eyes searching Jungkook's face. "You're still holding back," Tae-hyung said softly, so their son wouldn't hear. Jungkook's throat tightened. Of course I am. You think one kiss makes everything disappear? Taehyung's jaw clenched, but his voice was gentle. No. But it's a start. Before Jungkook could reply, his phone buzzed. A message lit up the screen. Seojin, I need to see you. Please? Just once. Jungkook's stomach dropped. His hands shook as he quickly turned the screen over, but Taehyung had seen the name. His expression darkened, eyes narrowing. Seojin, Jungkook swallowed hard, caught between guilt and panic. He couldn't deny it, this fragile balance was about to shatter. Taehyung's voice dropped, low and edged with something raw. Are you still letting him in? Jungkook's chest tightened painfully as he looked at Taehyung, the father of his child, the man he still loved, the man who had broken him once. And now, with Seojin reappearing, Jungkook realized he would have to choose.